Jessica Easthope. It's no secret the Catholic Church has inspired some of the most beautiful art from the Renaissance to the modern day. And right now, one man is on a mission to capture cathedrals. Andrew Macy is traveling the country taking pictures of God's house so the world can be reacquainted with its beauty. Currents News' Katie Vasquez caught up with him as he stopped in the Diocese of Brooklyn's very own Co-Cathedral of St. Joseph.
Snapshots of faith captured on a cell phone camera. When Andrew Macy goes to church, he's bringing hundreds of other Catholics with him.
I feel like I'm taking people on a virtual tour of these places. I had people tell me that I'm too old to go to these places. It'll give me a different way to experience the beauty of the church.
The Catholic photographer, as he is known to his Instagram followers, first picked up his camera almost a decade ago. It was Easter Mass at the Cathedral Basilica of the Sacred Heart in Newark, and he was inspired after simply looking up.
Looking at the magnificent architecture and gorgeous stained glass window on the statues, I'm thinking, wow, the church is just amazing.
Since then, he's taken his passion for photographing parishes on the road, visiting 35 out of 50 states and capturing basilicas and cathedrals in places like Philadelphia, Lansing, Michigan, and Las Vegas.
I found a sense of gratefulness for my Catholic faith drawing me to these places. Without my faith, I wouldn't be able to do this.
On Labor Day, Andrew will hit a new milestone. He'll photograph his 100th church, the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception in Memphis, Tennessee.
They already know I'm coming, and they're like, oh, we'll get the red carpet ready for you.
Andrew says he's on a mission to see all the cathedrals and basilicas across the United States, a task he expects to finish within the next decade. But he's not stopping there. He would also like to photograph churches in Canada and eventually Europe. In Prospect Heights, Katie Vasquez, Currents News.
You can see Andrew's work online. Just follow the.catholic.photographer on Instagram and Flickr. Turning now to a tragic anniversary. It's been 78 years since the United States dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And now activists are calling for an end to the use of nuclear weapons.
They want to sing that song once more.
Voices outside the Consulate General of Japan in Manhattan sang songs of peace. The 50 activists offering an apology on behalf of the United States for the 1945 bombings, which killed an estimated 210,000 citizens. Pope Francis has repeatedly spoken out against nuclear warfare, even visiting Nagasaki in 2019. Catholics at this gathering say they're inspired by the Pope.
He's one of my heroes, because he not only stands for the environment and a sustainable planet, but really against war and against nuclear weapons.
The group also appealed to leaders in Japan and the United States to ratify the treaty on the prohibition of nuclear weapons. This would make the possession and use of these weapons illegal internationally. Back to our World Youth Day coverage, one traveler believes she received a possible miracle during the pilgrimage. The teen from Madrid claims she regained her sight after receiving communion at Fatima and praying to Our Lady of the Snows. Jimena lost 95% of her vision 2 years ago. The president of the Spanish Bishops' Conference, Cardinal Juan Omella, got a chance to speak with her.
She was excited, and I said, well, let's thank God for this. And this does not lead to the beatification of anyone, because the Virgin is already a saint. It is a grace from God. So let's thank him, and that's it.
Cardinal Omella said doctors will have to assess Jimena's condition and whether it could have been cured, but for now, he called it a miracle. Our own pilgrims are back in Brooklyn. We caught up with one of them, Victoria Lopez, before she left, and now she joins us again. Vicky, welcome back. You're fresh off the plane from Lisbon.
Thank you so much. Hi. It's
Hi.
so nice to be back in New York.
Vicky, tell me what it was like to see the Holy Father in person for the first time.
Honestly, I feel like I was very blessed. I was able to see him straight in person. Like, I was able to see him front row. It was such a beautiful experience. It was so nice to see him. Everyone felt really happy to see him. The emotion, the feelings that were there. A lot of people ended up passing out because of the excitement that they got to see Pope Francis.
I can't even imagine what that was like. And Vicky, you know better than anyone now that this wasn't the luxurious and nice European vacation that you hear about. It was your first time in Europe, but you weren't on a vacation, you were on a pilgrimage. How was it like for you? You trekked through triple degree heat, you slept on rocky ground. What was it like?
The experience overall was very worth it. It was really nice to meet new people from all around the country, different teenagers that share the same belief as you. The experience was also very hard. It was hard, but it was very worth it at the end.
And Vicky, I want to just show you some highlights from World Youth Day. Let's take a look at this.
Levantemos os braços, a pressa no ar. Jesus vive e não nos deixa sós, não mais deixaremos de amar.
Vicky, what emotions come up looking back at those highlights?
Super happy. Mentally, I'm still there. Physically, I'm here. But it just brings me excitement that I was able to experience this beautiful pilgrimage.
And when it comes to that experience, you really went on this pilgrimage to find a connection with Christ, a deeper connection. You have a young son, you're still in school. You went on this trip to find yourself, right?
Yes, I did. And many times I prayed to the Lord and I was able to feel his presence. My faith definitely strengthened a lot more.
And given that it seems you had an amazing experience, I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you think you'll be headed to Seoul in 2027?
Of course. I hope I can. If, God first, whatever happens in the future, I'm very ready for anything.
Well, excellent. The countdown begins, right?
Yes.
Victoria Lopez from St. Joseph's Parish in Astoria, thank you so much for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you for having me here.
And that wraps up our 2023 World Youth Day coverage. Until next time, I'm Jessica Easthope. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news.